I thought my cravings were the problem. I thought that having cravings for food, for scrolling, for cheap dopamine, I thought that was the problem and not my response. I was always trying to think of ways I can remove these things from my life. Delete social media, delete Uber Eats, remove junk food from my house in hopes that it would solve my problem and I will not have any more cravings and just stop resorting to these means for comfort or for whatever it is that I'm looking for in the moment. But doing so did not help me at all. I've tried so many like screen time blockers. So many times I've removed junk food from my house. In fact, I don't have anything bad in my house right now. I've tried deleting Uber Eats and it's never worked for me because these cravings for food, for wanting to skip work, for indulging in cheap dopamine, these are normal. These happen to everyone, to the most disciplined person you see online. They probably don't want to wake up early that day, or they have days where they want to eat that burger, but they don't. And that's what makes them who they are. Anyways, I thought that just removing all these things from my life will make my cravings magically disappear. But it turns out, surprise, surprise, they don't. They're still, they still come around. And now I just don't have a response around me. But what that does is it creates even more and more like desire, if that makes sense. When I don't have the thing at my fingertips, right now I'm thinking about it. I'm overemphasizing it. If I don't have like junk food or like sugar, I find myself like from the morning, if I get that craving, it might sit with me throughout the entire day until eventually I succumb to it. Just because I don't have anything lying around me and I just try and keep ignoring it, ignoring it, ignoring it. Then I realized like these cravings happen to everyone. I'm no different to most people. Why am I trying to escape these things? These desires are something so natural, but what makes people different to me, is that how they respond to it. And I realized that I can't control when that craving comes. I can't control it. Maybe, I don't know, someone was talking about food and the idea pops in my head. Or I'm just sitting there in my room and I start wanting to like waste time. I can't control when that thought pops up, but I can control how I respond to it. And recently I've been doing this more and more and I notice progress. I try and just pause in the moment. Now I'm not saying I'm perfect. I spent around 1 hour on my phone this morning as soon as I woke up, which was really bad. But But on the other hand, this morning I had a craving for what's it called? To order a cookie or something like sugar, but I didn't do that. So I was happy. I'm happy, pretty happy about that. But let me regain my train of thought. I completely forgot what I said, so I had to rewatch the footage. And yeah, I was saying that I try and pause in the moment. I try and reflect, even if it's just for a tiny bit of time. Why do I get this itch to open my phone? Why am I getting that craving? What am I feeling in that moment? And what am I trying to cover up? What am I trying to get out of that habit? And for most people, it's usually like maybe anxiety or stress, or maybe you're seeking comfort. And I just noticed that when I pause and I break that pattern once, it becomes a little bit easier to break it again. If, for example, like 2 weeks ago, I ordered food maybe 7 times in a week. The week after, it was four. And this week so far, I haven't ordered any food, you know? So once I started breaking that pattern once, breaking it again became a little bit easier. I started to become more conscious of what I was feeling in the moment and what I was trying to cover up. And this helped. And this is why I can see myself making progress. I mean, I have a screen time limit, but that's only just because I want to see how many times if I do cross it. I don't use it to to eliminate my cravings. I still have Uber Eats on my phone. I've opened it a couple of times yesterday and today. I just haven't done anything. I haven't like placed an order because I realized that just removing these things from my life without actually treating what's happening inside my brain and how I'm feeling, it's not going to benefit me. These things, these cravings that I feel, everyone feels, but not everyone gives them power and responds. And I just realized that, you know what, I'm perfectly normal, perfectly human for feeling these things, for wanting these things. I just have to change the way I respond to them, try and treat what's happening deep inside myself that usually I'm not aware of, or usually I cover up with these habits until eventually they come up again and I cover them up again. It's like, I don't know, you're digging some sand to try and find what's on the treasure or whatever, but every time you dig a little bit, you immediately like cover it up, you know? You just try, you dig at that same spot and you cover it up again. And you wonder why you can't see anything. So I just started becoming slowly, slowly more aware, more present, especially when these things come up. I try not to impulsively act, rather, maybe give it some time before I do anything. And usually, I find that this desire might subside or might go away. Anyways, I hope you learned something new or you learned something about me that might apply to you. If it helped you, if you benefited, we ask you to subscribe and to give me your thoughts, your feedback in the comments. But other than that, it's been me. Take care. Peace.